Have you ever looked up at the sky and just accepted it without question? Blue, endless, familiar. It feels like the most normal thing in the world, something you never think twice about. But if you stood on another planet or moon, that same sky could turn pitch black in an instant, even under a blazing sun, and you would feel like you were standing on the very edge of the world, one wrong step away from falling straight into nothing. That feeling is not imagination. It is real, it has been described by astronauts, and the reason behind it is one of the most overlooked facts about our universe. By the end of this video, you will never look at the sky the same way again. Let's start with the obvious question. Why is Earth's sky blue in the first place? The answer comes down to something called our atmosphere, a thin but incredibly powerful layer of gas wrapped around our planet. When sunlight from the sun reaches Earth, it does not just pass through empty space and hit the ground directly. It has to travel through this dense mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, and countless tiny particles. As that light enters the atmosphere, it collides with these gas molecules over and over again, and something remarkable happens. Sunlight is not actually just one color. It is made up of every color in the rainbow blended together. When that light scatters off the molecules in our air, blue light scatters far more than any other color because of its shorter wavelength. This process is called Rayleigh scattering, and it happens in every direction, all across the sky, all at once. That is why no matter where you look during the day, up, sideways, near the horizon, the entire sky appears to be filled with the same solid blue color. It is so effective at scattering light that it completely overpowers and hides the stars and the blackness of space, even though space is still right there above us the entire time. Now here is where things get interesting. Imagine taking that atmosphere away completely. No air, no gas molecules, no particles for sunlight to bounce off of. That is exactly what the moon is. It has essentially no atmosphere at all, which means that when astronauts stood on the lunar surface during the Apollo missions, in the middle of daylight, under direct and intense sunlight, they were staring up at a sky that was completely and totally black. Not dark blue, not gray, but pure black, with stars clearly visible the entire time, even while the sun was shining brightly enough to cast sharp shadows on the ground. There was no atmosphere there to scatter the light and fill the sky with color, so space simply remained exactly as it always is, dark and empty, right above their heads in broad daylight. This is exactly where that unsettling edge-of-the-world feeling begins to make sense. Think about what happens when you look toward the horizon here on Earth. The atmosphere creates a soft, gradual haze in the distance. Colors fade slowly, the sky blends smoothly into the ground, and everything feels connected and continuous. There is no harsh line, no sudden break, just a gentle transition that our eyes and brains are used to seeing every single day. But on a world with no atmosphere, that soft blending simply does not exist. There is nothing there to create it. The ground ends abruptly, and pure black space begins immediately, with zero transition and zero softness in between. Astronauts have described this as deeply disorienting, almost like standing at the edge of a stage with the rest of the world just cut away into darkness. That unsettling illusion becomes even more intense on smaller worlds. Think about tiny moons and asteroids, bodies that are only a few kilometers wide. Because they are so small, their curvature is extreme. The ground visibly curves downward and drops away after just a few hundred meters, sometimes even less. Standing on a surface like that would feel like standing on top of a giant ball, where a few more steps in any direction could send you tumbling right over the side into open space. It sounds like science fiction, but it is simply basic geometry. Earth only feels safe and flat because it is so massive that its curve is nearly impossible for us to notice with our own eyes. On a small enough world, that illusion of safety completely disappears. And every planet in our solar system adds its own unique twist to this story, making the sky feel like an entirely different experience depending on where you are standing. Mars, for example, has a thin atmosphere, but it is filled with extremely fine reddish dust that gets kicked up constantly by wind. This gives the Martian sky a strange, dusty butterscotch and pink color during the day, completely unlike anything we see on Earth. Then there is Titan, one of Saturn's largest moons, which is wrapped in a thick, hazy orange atmosphere, so dense that it actually hides the entire surface from view when you look at it from orbit. And Venus takes this even further. Its surface is smothered under a crushing, toxic layer of clouds made of sulfuric acid, so dense and reflective that the entire sky glows a permanent yellow-orange, trapping heat and light, in a way that makes it the hottest planet in our solar system, even hotter than Mercury, which is far closer to the Sun. So when you put all of this together, the mystery is not really a mystery at all once you understand the science behind it. It comes down to three simple but powerful factors working together. First, how much atmosphere a world actually has. Second, whether that atmosphere is capable of scattering sunlight the way ours does. And third, how large or small the planet or moon actually is, since that determines how sharply the ground curves beneath your feet. Together, these three factors are what decide whether you experience a calm, familiar blue sky stretching peacefully above you, or whether you feel like you are standing on the very edge of existence itself, staring straight into the void. But this is only the beginning. The universe still holds far greater mysteries than the color of a sky, mysteries about black holes, about the true scale of the cosmos, and about worlds we have not even discovered yet. If this made things click for you, make sure to hit subscribe and join us for the next discovery, because the universe still has so much more to show us.